and welcome to the fourth video of this week's online Messy Church. Today we've been thinking about finding light in times of darkness when we are feeling sad or frustrated or fed up. And we have been thinking about giving and receiving love and helping ourselves to feel calm, asking God to help us feel His peace in times when we are feeling sad or frustrated or angry or whatever it might be. And so in this final video today, we are going to do some prayers together to ask God to help us find light in times of darkness. And the kind of prayers that we are going to do are called water lily prayers. Water lily prayers. So what you will need for your water lily prayers is you will need a tray like this one. I'm using a baking tray because I'm doing it at home. It's actually like a roasting tin, isn't it? You'll need a piece of paper like this one. You'll need a pen or a pencil. And you will need some water to go in your tray, and you might need slightly more than that actually. Perhaps a grown-up could help you to fill the bottom of your tray with water. But what we're going to do before that is we are going to take our piece of paper like this. My mat is actually a little bit wet from all the other experiments. We're going to take our piece of paper and we are going to draw, first of all, a square. Draw a square on your piece of paper. It doesn't need to be exact. I'm not actually really measuring. I'm just using the ruler so I can get a straight line. So drawing a square on the piece of paper, so you should have a square that looks a bit like that. And then around the square, we're going to draw some ovals. Again, it doesn't need to be exact. Mine is definitely not exact. So it should look a little bit like that. It should look a little bit like that. And then you are going to need a pair of scissors. I had a pair of scissors somewhere. Where are they? Here they are. A pair of scissors to cut out your lily. Cut out your lily. Don't worry too much about it being too neat. All it needs is a centre square and some petals. A centre square and some petals. I'm going to cut all the way around. All the way around. Until you have something that looks a little bit like this. Something that looks a bit like this. Does it look like a flower? A little bit, I guess. It's a bit wonky. Let's just wait a moment for you to catch up. And so when you have your flower that looks a bit like this, what you're going to do in the middle is you might like to write down a prayer, or you might like to write down something that you'd like to ask God for this week. And it could be something for you. Perhaps you'd like God to help you have a good week at school, or something like that. Or it could be something for someone else. Perhaps you'd like God to help your little brother or sister be able to do something they couldn't do before. Perhaps you'd like to pray for mummy or daddy or grandma or grandpa or a pet or whoever it might be. Perhaps you'd like to say thank you to God for something. And you're going to write whatever your prayer is in the middle of your flower. So when you finish cutting out your lily, in the middle of your lily, you're going to write something that you'd like to pray for, something you'd like to ask God for, something you'd like to thank God for. In the middle of mine, I've put a COVID-19 vaccine. I'd like to ask God to help us find an end to these germs. That would be really nice. Help people get well again. And then when you've done that, you're going to fold your petals into the centre so that your lily should look like this. It should look like this. A little moment to catch up. And perhaps while you're writing your prayers down, someone else could be getting the tray ready in the centre of your table and filling it with water. Now you don't need the water to be very deep, but it does need to be deep enough for you to pop your lilies on in a moment. And I don't know about you, but I always like to pray. With the lights off. If you've got your candle from earlier, perhaps you'd like to light it and put it in the centre of your table. Like that. And when you're ready, when you've all got your water lilies, you've got your tray of water in front of you, perhaps you've got the lights off and your candle in front of you, you can throw your prayers into the water. And I wonder what's going to happen. Look. Your petals will gradually, you might need a little bit of help, they'll gradually start to unfold. And as they start to unfold, and as your lily becomes free, we can ask God for the prayers that we've written in the middle. We can ask God to help us find light in the darkness during this lockdown, during this time, and we can also ask God to help us be the light, help us to share love, help us to share peace with each other. And as we watch our lilies unfold, we can see each other back in the Zoom call.